Scriptor and Note Repeater are two incredibly imaginative MIDI plugins. I was just playing around with patches using both Scriptor and Note Repeater. Scriptor allows you to write your own scripts to process or generate MIDI data in real time, basically design your own plugins. This does require knowledge of JavaScript, which I do not have. However, there are a number of extremely cool pre-built Scriptor processors included for chord strumming, a harp glissando, what I was just using, or an algorithmic composer. Let's open up the interface. Close out of Note Repeater for a moment. Here is Scriptor. It does work like any other plugin. It comes with settings you can load, and I recommend you start there, right under the preset menu. I'm using the arpeggiator. When you load any of these example settings, they will reconfigure the faders and the controls to give you real-time control over the features that were written in JavaScript. So for example, when I select key range, it changes the controls that you have available. Let's go back to the arpeggiator and just mess around with these controls and you'll get some creative results. I can change my octaves, note length, and so on. I have the arpeggiator on a synth patch called Scatterpad coming out of Sculpture. If we bypass it, this is the patch otherwise. Not so exciting. I can add a transposer beneath, just clicking on that horizontal line. And now pick a scale like Japanese. And now with that beautiful, lush, stunning arpeggiator, just play almost anything. The Note Repeater that you heard a little bit earlier is sick. Let's open up its interface. Think of this like an audio delay generating repeated notes with a few perfect controls. Let's set the delay time. Right now it's at 8th note. Let's set this at quarter notes. Here it is, the 8th notes. Slowing it down to quarter notes with the slider. And then experiment with the number repeats with this knob here on the left. Can open up our view a little bit more. Now, with the delay sync button enabled, which I've had it enabled, Note Repeater, let's bypass this for just a moment. Note Repeater will sync with Logic's tempo, and the display is in bars and beats instead of milliseconds when you uncheck delay. The display area shows the main MIDI note as the bright bar, and the process to repeat notes are these lighter shaded notes. Watch the display update as I adjust the number of repeats. Let's turn it back on. You can also play with this velocity ramp here on the right to adjust whether the repeated notes get louder or softer. Transpose gets a little crazy with the pitch of the repeated notes. May be good for scoring video games or animation. Let's bring up our repeats. Let's bring this back to earth and let me grab the original setting that I had. And I hope you agree that this new MIDI plugin rocks and will provide that instant pick-me-up to the creative process.